Is there anything the Houston Texans can take from the Chiefs' Super Bowl run that they need to focus on in 2024? Well, there's actually two things. Let's get into it. Welcome into the channel. I'm Cody Stoots. Let's talk some Texans, and let's talk about the Chiefs' Super Bowl run and two lessons that I observed coming out of this Chiefs' Super Bowl run that the Texans need to focus on and apply going forward. Now, it's not often that you can take from a Super Bowl team if you're a team that didn't even get necessarily close to the Super Bowl, but the Texans are clearly one of the rising teams in the AFC. They should be a formidable team in the next couple of seasons in the AFC. I went over in another video when they should be competing for a Super Bowl. If they handle these two lessons coming out of this game from the Chiefs run, they might be competing even sooner than I thought. The two things for me about this Chiefs Super Bowl run, one's on offense, one's on defense. The offensive one, believe in your ballers. And then the defensive one is defense doesn't win championships, but ... Let's talk about the offense first in this one. Believe in your ballers. Now, originally I called this trust your stars, but it's not always a star that you go to have success. You think about the Kansas City Chiefs. On offense, they've really got two stars. They've got Patrick Mahomes and they've got Travis Kelce, but there's a couple of ballers that they trust on that offense. Running back Isaiah Pacheco, wide receiver Rashee Rice, and they inherently trust those guys, and they've trusted those guys a ton over the course of the season to get to this point. Rashee Rice turned into one of the better rookie wide receivers. Isaiah Pacheco established himself as a number one for the Chiefs running back. And then, of course, you have the two stars on offense and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. But you got to believe in your ballers. You got to go out there. You got to trust that they're going to make the plays. Don't take the ball out of their hands. Keep going to them. You think about the Super Bowl game itself. Who was Patrick Mahomes' number one target? It was Travis Kelce. He kept going to Travis Kelce in big moments, and the big fella paid off. His number two target, Rashee Rice, another guy that he believes in. Isaiah Pacheco was his number three target. And then when you think about the Chiefs' situation in got to go down there and score and tie the game to force overtime, and then once they trail in overtime, got to put points on the board or the Super Bowl is over, you just have inherent belief in Patrick Mahomes. He's going to go in there and make plays. He did it with his arms on trying to get the short stuff. There was one play in particular where I remember from the Super Bowl where he avoided going deep. Tony Romo even pointed out that it was likely an interception if he threw that ball, but he decided to check it down. And then with Mahomes as well, he went out there and used his legs a lot. Now, I started thinking about that from a C.J. Stroud perspective, and well, C.J. Stroud has used his legs in key moments and big moments, and when he's had to go to it, Stroud has that ability in his tool belt. So that's something that you can believe in from a Texans standpoint. And then you saw little pieces over the course of the season from C.J. Stroud, and they built ultimately to that Indianapolis game where you need your quarterback to go out there and make it happen. Well, what does he do? He goes out there and makes it happen. I think about the Atlanta game where he goes out there and gets the Dalton Schultz play, and even though the Texans lost that game, you built on it. The Tampa Bay game, the incredible drive, a couple of passes, the Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell on the sideline, and then boom, Tank Dell in the end zone for the game winner. And then ultimately it culminates with Indianapolis and the 7-for-7 game-winning drive that C.J. Stroud put together that included overcoming a holding call, overcoming a sack, the just toss it up to Nico Collins. You can believe in C.J. Stroud, and then you got to believe in the players around him. And right now, as far as offense goes, I really believe in Nico Collins, and I really believe in Tank Dell. And to an extent, I believe in Dalton Schultz if they bring him back, and they've got to improve the running back situation. So improve the running back situation, get a guy you can believe in from that standpoint, one that can catch the ball, one that can also run the ball better than Devin Singletary, or perhaps you can just believe in the whole running back room if you bring back Devin Singletary and add a running mate with him in that running back room. But you've got to learn to believe in ballers on offense. I believe in CJ Stroud. Get him a few more ballers on offense and make some things happen. The other aspect of it is a defensive aspect. Is defense doesn't win championships, but ... Well, what's after the ... What's after the but? Well, defense doesn't win championships, but it does get you there. This Kansas City Chiefs defense was number 2 in points allowed in the regular season. Okay? They were really good this year. In fact, the Chiefs only allowed opponents to score 21 or more points 6 times this year. And in that, only 4 times did they score more than 21 points. So just 6 times, 21 or more points over the course of this Super Bowl run for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans, in that very same stat, 9 times the opponent scored 21 or more points. And 8 of those 9 times, it was more than 21 points that the opposing team scored. The Texans have got to add to and get to another level on defense if they have designs on repeating in the AFC South, making the AFC Championship, winning the AFC Championship, and then competing for a Super Bowl. So how do you do that? Well, you look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have, and they've got some incredible building blocks. One of them actually is about to be a free agent, most notably Chris Jones, their defensive lineman. He's set to be a free agent. He's one of the big building blocks, but they've drafted well. A bunch of those guys have been there for a couple of seasons, and they've gone out there and had guys grow into the opportunity. Trent McDuffie, their cornerback, their former first rounder, and then guys like L'Jarius Sneed come up, play well. A free agent addition like Justin Reed fits into his role really well. They've had a bunch of different guys on defense evolve, grow, and play some of their best football here after a few seasons. Well, the Texans need to go out there and they got to go find some more people. George Karlaftis, another first-round pick that they've invested in. The Texans got to go out there, and the big tentpole pieces on defense, there's a couple of them. Will Anderson, obviously, is the defensive rookie of the year. Derek Stingley, when healthy, is fantastic, but you need somebody opposite Derek Stingley in that secondary. The safety play has got to get better and more consistent. Somebody opposite Will Anderson is going to be a necessity, whether that be re-signing Jonathan Grenard or going out there and getting a different defensive end to take Jonathan Grenard's place if he leaves, but you're going to need somebody there. And then the linebacker situation. Look, I know the conversation coming into this game was about Fred Warner, the San Francisco 49ers star linebacker, and Dre Greenlaw. The Chiefs have really solid linebacker play, and none of those guys are stars, but they're consistent, and the Chiefs can rely on them. Defense doesn't win you championships anymore. The Baltimore Ravens didn't even get to the Super Bowl. They were the top defense in points allowed this year. The Cleveland Browns were the top defense in yards allowed. They didn't even win their only playoff game because CJ Stroud and company diced them up and took care of business. Defense doesn't win championships anymore, but it gets you to the championship level. You look around at the teams that were left here in the AFC and the NFC, the only outlier in points allowed near the top was the Detroit Lions. The 49ers dispatched them. And then the Chiefs were near the top. Obviously, the Ravens were the top, and the 49ers were near the top as well. So you've got to get that defense to another level if you're the Houston Texans. And I totally believe they can. They've got a lot of money to spend this offseason. They've got a full complement of draft picks that they can go in there and find depth players. And maybe that defense doesn't take that huge jump this year, but a big step up and then ultimately another big step up, that probably gets that defense exactly where it needs to be, to where defense doesn't win you championships, but it does get you to the championship level. So believe in your ballers on offense. Defense doesn't win championships, but it does get you to the championship over on defense. Those, to me, are the two big lessons that you can take from the Super Bowl and apply to the Houston Texans in this 2024 offseason and ultimately in the 2024 season when it rolls around starting in September. That's a long way away. Late July is when training camp gets started. Start Xing the days on your calendar. What do you think? What lessons would you take from the Kansas City Chiefs and try to apply to the Houston Texans? Drop that in the comment section down below as well. No football, no problem when it comes to people who want to gamble. Our friends at BetUS have plenty of things for you to wager on. It's basketball season, college hoops, pro hoops, baseball's right around the corner. You want to throw down a little MVP future or a Cy Young future on somebody? BetUS has got that for you. And of course, when March rolls around, the tourney, March Madness will be here. You want to wager there. Get signed up in the link in my description down below. Deposit at least $50 and get to wagering with my friends at BetUS. They will take care of you. America's favorite sports book for almost 3 decades. That's right, almost 3 decades. America's favorite sports book. BetUS. Link in the description down below to get signed up. The offseason is officially here. It's here for everybody, and we'll have it covered for you here on the channel. So subscribe so you don't miss anything. Turn the little notification bell on so you'll always know when new stuff pops. Throw me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching, and I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.